think one of the things that I always wanted to be able to do was fly, and I was always really gutted that Skarsgård got to fly. Apart from the fact that he was 6'4", he got to fly. And of course Polaris can do that, but there's some things that these mutants can do that, like shifting metal or bringing buildings down or protecting with, there's a character called Proteus who can sort of turn back time, which I think would be pretty awesome. So there's some things that the X gang can do that we couldn't as vampires, which are pretty awesome.
Social commentary has always been an important part of X-Men universe.
What was the first little word?
Social.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So is it the thing in The Gifted as well?
Yeah, I think that. I think it would be quite difficult to live in the 2017 that we're living in and not comment on what's going on in the world. In the same way that True Blood dealt with disenfranchised and marginalized or otherness. One of the things that drew me to this is the idea that the kids in our story and the mutants who have become mutants previously have the gene gets activated by some kind of persecution or some kind of bullying or some kind of moment of terror. And I love the idea that my children would be able to sort of turn on people who were awful in society. Does it affect? I think there are certain aspects in the script that Matt wrote over a year ago that have quite a prescient will have quite a prescient effect that will be quite interesting given the government that we've got.
How closely does your character lean?
Hello, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
How closely does your character lean toward what exists in the comics, and how much does it take off into
My character doesn't exist in the comics. He's an ordinary man. He so difficult for me to answer specifically, but my character is the sort of ordinary man in this. It's without being an utter tosser. Bertolt Brecht, always had somebody on screen which was the prism for which not on screen but in the play that the audience are watching through somebody, and so I think myself and Amy's characters end up being the sort of the reality, the ordinary in the extraordinary, and so the audience get to sort of visit this world through their eyes.
How familiar were you with the X-Men franchise before you got cast?
When I was a kid, I was really into Spider-Man, and X-Men wasn't my bag. I did read comic books, but the X-World wasn't my sort of growing up thing. But obviously, the X-Men are part of my family because my wife's been in 4 of them, so it was a bit difficult to avoid.
Yeah.
So I knew of the world. I knew about the mutant gene, and I obviously knew how that gets activated and how the upper echelons of society are frightened by it, which I really like.
Cool.
Did Anna give you any sort of advice in your entry into the X world? Did she give you need to know this before you get involved with this?
She's done 3 films with Bryan Singer, and Bryan directed our pilot. So that was great. She loves Bryan, and Bryan has an encyclopedic knowledge of what the world is, and so it was fantastic coming in and being able to just mine that. And she led me down the sort of the rabbit hole in terms of some interesting places to go to look at stuff. Also, Marvel gave us passwords on our iPads to that Marvel Unlimited, unbelievable. And it's almost as if comic books were invented or the iPad was invented for comic books. It's an unbelievable thing. So that's been great as well, just being able to sort of go back to old editions from 60s and delve. It's amazing. Not even just the X-Men stuff.
How's the
Thanks
Comic-Con?
so much, guys. We have to wrap.
I'm going to do one more. Go on.
I was just wondering how the Comic-Con experience is for you.
This is my 9th one.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like your 10th, 15th one, you guys. We all see each other every year. I missed it because we were all going to come here for the Bastard Executioner, but we were in Wales, and so we didn't come. So I've had a couple of years off. It's great to be back. It's really nice seeing some of these guys go through it for the first time. I do remember when we did True Blood, the very first one, we'd only just started and nobody knew what the show was. There was this kind of lovely innocence about that very first one that was really special. And it kind of feels a little bit like that with this, where some of these guys haven't done this before, and so we can walk around without having the kind of mania. Because if the show is a success, next year will be very different. So it's kind of nice to remember it like this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
This English voice, this English accent belongs to Blair. Belongs to Sean Teal.
And this American voice belongs to
Lovely Georgian boy.
Blair Redford.
I should have realized you have
Yeah, that would have. Yeah.
Can you guys tell us a little bit about maybe social things that are being explored on the show?
People keep on asking about why X-Men is still relevant and why it deals with civil issues, and I think the reason why is because of its conception. That was the case when Magneto and Charles Xavier were made. It was Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and if that's the way that these shows, this concept was conceived, then that's going to emanate throughout the mythology later on. And so in this show, we have that same thing of civil rights issues and about these people aren't superheroes that don suits and fly magic jets and save the world. These are human beings that are persecuted for doing nothing other than being themselves, which is mutants, because they've just been bestowed this X gene that they did not ask for. And so the social issues we're dealing with that exist on the planet already: persecution of the skin tone that you have, or your gender, or your sexuality, or your age, weight, height, anything, what nationality you are, how you speak. Or if you have any disabilities, that persecution is all relevant in our show because you don't have a choice in those things. You don't choose them. Maybe your weight, you could choose not to have that extra dessert. But that's what this show is dealing with: is human beings persecuted for being nothing other than themselves and coming together and trying to fight for their rights as people. And I think that's quite relevant.
Is the world of Gifted similar or different to the world of Incorporated?
The world of Incorporated was quite frightening. It was set in the future, and it was as grounded and realistic as possible with the projections that they'd made, but quite sinister and quite dark. This does have some connections to that. There are people that fall on there are trade-offs. Some people fall foul of the system, and others do not, and that will always happen in every story. But that's where those similarities will end, I guess, because I could go on for days, and I ramble. As you've noticed, so that's really where it ends, and this is very different actually. And I'll let Blair carry on when you ask him something.
What was it like working with Bryan Singer on the palette?
That was incredible. I mean, right off the bat, when I heard he was attached, you're getting a pillar of the X-Men franchise helming the project. So we felt like we were in great hands, and his instincts are incredible. He's an encyclopedia of X-Men knowledge. What I found amazing working with him too is, as a director, he's always cutting and editing in his head. So it's this interesting process where like his understanding of the franchise and of the mutant powers and how they all work, he's got such a strong grasp. But you'll be shooting something, and what normally might take a discussion to figure out, he's cut the scene in his head. He's figured it out like that power doesn't quite look this way, or it won't work out this way. And he's just a good leader when it's coming to making this project. Obviously, that's why he's stayed a part of it.
Yeah, he's a part of it. Yeah.
For both of you, tell me about what was the lure of the characters you were playing? What got you excited about them?
What got me excited was the world, because the characters are sort of very much, not only live in this world, but derive from this world. They are molded and sort of poked and prodded and manipulated by the world that they live in and the circumstances that they're in. Because of this terrifying world and these dangerous scenarios, what's really interesting is how these people are going to react. Not only do they have this thing that they don't know whether they control yet, they live in a world where people resent that, so do they resent themselves? It was just really, why wouldn't you want to play someone that's trying to do one thing, when trying to do good in the world, when the world is trying not to do good by them? And how far can those people go before they start to jeopardize what they believe in and starts to tear away at the threads of who they are under duress? And we've all seen people crack and change because of that. And so it's really fun to have that dynamic happen. And I think Thunderbird and Polaris and Eclipse, as this underground network, you'll see throughout the series that relationship does fracture, and Thunderbird has a way of thinking, and it's in my opinion a good one. Polaris has another, and Eclipse we all get torn between the two opposing factors, and that's something really fun to play, because who doesn't want to play in these extreme situations, ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances? I think that's really fun.
What I was drawn to about Thunderbird, I didn't even know who I was reading for when we first auditioned. They obviously kept it very secret, but what I was drawn to is Thunderbird is obviously this guy with superhuman strength. We've seen that portrayed a lot in different stories, Netflix shows, even all of this stuff. But he has this other power of foresight. He has heightened senses. He's a tracker. So it kind of made him a little more well-rounded. And then any character I'm looking at,
he's not just a grunt.
Yeah, totally.
Pretty face.
Yeah. And any character I look at, I try to examine what their origin story is, what their history is. And I thought with Thunderbird, there's so much to delve into. I mean, he's got this Apache background, this tracker background. He's ex-military. There's a lot of stuff to go off of. And his brother, Warpath. There's a lot of deep stuff to delve into. So that made it interesting for me.
Most of us have seen the 4-minute trailer so far. How much have you seen finished with effects?
The first two acts, I guess, really.
Yeah, I mean, we've done a good bit of ADR, so we've seen stuff, but not fully cut.
So the 20 minutes that we showed at the panel is really the final product that we know will make it in.
Yeah, I mean, even 2 days ago, we were reshooting parts of the pilot.
Yeah.
When we get back in 2 days, we actually will start new material we've never done before.
There's another X-Men show out now, obviously, Legion. I was just wondering, do you think these two shows will complement each other, or?
I think, from what I've seen of Legion, it's a very unique show on its own. So fortunately, there won't be the problem of crossover. Well, not crossover is the wrong word, of clashing, because it's quite hard to clash with something unless you're similar to it. And Legion is very much its own thing, and the way that it's shot and the way that it's sort of staged is very different to how ours is. And you'd hope that they do sort of complement each other. I can't tell for sure, but one thing is that they won't clash. I can't imagine someone watching Legion and going, well, there's no way that The Gifted can be watchable, because this is it. It would just be that would be quite worrying and quite elitist, and that would be a shame. So don't do that, please. But we hope they complement each other. There's nothing too offensive about either show that they can't get along.
How much relate to the existing X-Men movie universe? Do you guys have a sense? Is it in the same universe? Is it a universe adjacent kind of?
It's Matt Nix, our creator. He's given a bit of information on that, and I mean, I think what he alludes to a lot is there are, from Days of Future Past, there are actual different timelines that have sprouted up. So if you keep that in mind, we can exist on our own. I think. There's no direct connection at the moment to Logan or to the last X-Men film that was in theaters.
We exist in that universe, but with our own lineage, I guess, and there will be things that allude to. Well, I mean, you've got Thunderbird and Blink and Polaris already, so you know that we're part of this world.
Yeah. And the X-Men and the Brotherhood existed in our story.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
And at the moment they're in hiding.
At
the moment they're not present, and because of the world that we've created, and the Sentinel services are quite successful at what they do. But we have our lineage in there, and oh my god, I've completely blundered at the last minute. My final point was to say, it's gone. How awful!
We are awesome. Yeah. But now you can.
And now, I'm here.
Kobe Bell, the Sentinel services is here.
Awesome.
That's an awesome T-shirt. Look at that.
How you guys doing? What is it? Oh, that's nice. 77.
Millennium Falcon.
All right, so start over again. Start over again.
It's set
From the
in-
top.
It's set in like 2017.
It's present day.
Yeah, and we will allude to fun things like there might be posters for Stark Industries, and there might be little sort of glimpses of what was
Well,
left.
no, not Stark. No.
Yeah, weirdly enough, I saw that in the breakdown. Strangely, no, not Stark Industries. Oh my God!
Franchise.
Blah, blah, blah,
Didn't
blah, blah,
happen.
blah, 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 blah. What was the company
Trash.
called?
Trash.
Yeah, is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the. Sorry.
It's an
Sorry.
anagram.
We don't work for
Disney.
It's the same letters. It's the same letters. And, yeah, but that's.
Wow,
but
that
that's
was quick. You inverted that quickly.
I'm actually gonna move you guys, and then
I have
Kobe
dyslexia now.
will Send Amy up here with you. as
But
well.
yes, so there'll be glimpses of it in our world, but our world is still our own.
Spread them along.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you guys.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
guys.
Appreciate it.
I'm here all day.
I'm gonna leave you
Good to see you, man. Nice to see you
I'm
again.
not going
Take care.
anywhere. So if you guys been here since when?
Wednesday.
Is this your? You guys Comic-Con every year? Yeah.
Yeah.
My first one.
Your first. This is my first one too, man. Cool. It's fun though.
How do you like it so far?
It's fun. It's fun. I mean, yeah, like I'm just happy to be a part of something that gets this kind of attention. You know, Comic-Con kind of attention is. I realize how lucky that I am to be on a show like this. You know.
Well, your previous long-running show was very real-world based. How big of an adjustment is it to be a superhero?
It's. Wait, are we talking about the game? Or are we talking about Burn Notice? Burn Notice?
I was thinking this, but
There's so many. I just. Well, I never really thought of it that way. I just thought of it as working with Matt again. I did Burn Notice with Matt Nix, who's the creator of this show, and he talked to me about it kind of early on in the process. But it wasn't like a lock that the job was going to be mine. You know, I still had to audition for Marvel and audition for Fox, but the fact that it all worked out and that I'm here and that, you know, Matt and I just keep kind of looking at each other like, dude, this is happening. Like, this is happening. We're making an X-Men show. It's like, it's cool. It's the kind of thing that I've been wanting to do for a while. This is the kind of shows that I like, and my kids too. So I'm excited to be a part of it.
How much of your own personality do you lend to your character?
You know what? I guess we're gonna find out. We've only shot the pilot, so you kind of—that's the cool thing about TV is you can kind of get to know the character.
Build it as you go.
Yeah, the audience gets to know the characters, but so do the actors. Really, you find out something new. You go, oh, he's that guy. You know, like, okay, he's that guy. What I know of him so far is that he's pretty hardcore about his job, but I don't know if he gets any joy out of capturing mutants. I think the backstory is that his daughter was killed in a mutant-related incident, and so he was a cop that then joined the Sentinel Services, sort of vowing to make sure that didn't happen to any other family.
Did you watch a lot of other Marvel if they weren't connected, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or the Defenders shows?
I haven't. I have 4 kids, so like my TV time is limited to like after they go to bed, and I have like 30 minutes, and then I haven't fall asleep. But I've always watched all the the Marvel movies. I love all that stuff. And a few of the shows. So what was the meat of the question? Or did I do just to prepare?
Yeah.
So really not really to prepare, but I'm just in my life I'm very familiar with all the Marvel stuff.
Science fiction is a genre with a very prominent social conscience. Why do you think that is, that you tell these stories about?
You know what? That's a good question. I mean, I guess it's a way of talking about social issues without talking directly about them. You know, so it makes it a little more palatable, a little less preachy, but at the same time, the message is getting across. So it's actually it's a really cool. Starting with Star Trek, you know, and he was breaking some serious barriers that people weren't really. Oh yeah, but it's in outer space, so it's fine, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I never thought about that. It is, yeah, it's cool.
Have you gotten much action thus far on the show?
Well, I'm married, so.
Either answer is going to be good.
No, I mean we've only shot the pilot. My character is not really prominent in the pilot. But I do a lot of chasing around and, screaming into a megaphone during the pilot. And we really get into who he is later on, and we haven't started. We start shooting on Monday, so we'll really get into it. Yeah.
Is this an original character to the show?
Yeah, this guy doesn't exist in any comic book or anything like that.
Would you like to see one day they start drawing your likeness and stories?
Hell yes! That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah, action figures, man. Come on, are you kidding me?
Following up on his question about possible action figures someday.
Yeah, man. Because I was big into, when I was a kid, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, all that stuff. He-Man. She's calling you guys crazy.
It's happened before.
Well, she's saying the party's about to start. So yeah, I was a big action figure guy growing up. So yeah, that would freak me out to see. Like, I have friends that have gone on to do Marvel stuff and DC stuff, and just walking through Target and just seeing them in the toy aisle is a trip. Yeah. So yeah, that would be cool. I'd probably retire. If I saw a toy to my likeness, I would just thank you. I'm done.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Do both of you play characters with powers?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. Yeah, so we're both mutants. But you don't realize that at the beginning of the series. My character, when you start off the show, she is a teenager, going through everyday teenage topics, stuff. But what you realize as the series continues is that she's actually a mutant, and is known that she's been a mutant for years, and has kind of kept it to herself because she doesn't want to tell anybody in her family or her friends, because people see mutants as threats, as weirdos, as these weird people that just need to be separated from everybody. And our father in the show, Reed Strucker, he is a mutant prosecutor. So he likes to take mutants and put them in jail and put them in this detention center that you never get out of. So when she finds out she has powers, she kind of keeps it on the low until something happens with her brother Andy, where her powers kind of manifest, have to come out and show the world that she's secretly a mutant, which I'd actually like. I don't know why she didn't like it. But yeah, I think being a mutant would be pretty cool.
Well, is this revealed in the pilot or?
Yeah.
Yes, it's actually revealed in the trailer.
Okay.
That's the only reason I can kind of say that. Like I was saying, doing interviews like this is extremely difficult because I don't want to get in trouble. I want to keep my job.
Yeah, we only know what happens in the pilot so far. We haven't even shot episode 2.
We start episode 2 on Monday.
So, a world of possibilities.
Yeah.
Well, I'd imagine standing up to a bully is, when you have such dangerous powers, is a sort of damned if you do.
Yeah, it's very easy for it to escalate out of control, and for the revenge to turn into something that's like, it just turns into my fault, you know what I mean? And I think...
especially when you don't know how to use your powers.
Totally, and Andy can't control it. He just... I mean, especially at first, it just... I think once he learns to control his powers, he's going to make better decisions on how to use them.
Or bad decisions.
Yeah,
and take down the entire
You never
world.
know. I don't know what they're going to write me as.
He'll make decisions.
Definitely.
He's going to make a decision.
He'll make decisions by his own.
And how old are you guys?
I'm 17.
I am 18.
Okay.
I'm just kidding, I'm 15.
How old are we really?
I'm 23.
24.
What was it like working with Bryan Singer?
Cool. He's a cool guy.
I think it's really cool because he really has such an eye, and he's obviously such a part of the X-Men universe and understands it better than anyone. Him, Derek, Lauren, they're all part of this universe. This is what they've been in for the last years. So really bringing their eye into our pilot is incredible, because everything you see is very similar to the movies, but we have our own spin on it. So it's different, but you still have that comic book eye, that comic feel to it, which is extremely cool.
Yeah, I'm a big Bryan Singer fan.
Yeah.
How do you guys balance? Are you still in school, both of you? Or?
I graduated. I graduated 2 years early because I love acting. I'm in college now, but community college, online.
I'm going to online school because I just got like really crappy grades when I went to I went to a private school in Toronto where I live, and grade 10 didn't go so well, so we're trying out online school.
Mutants don't need school. Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
How intense are the action scenes for you?
Well, I think one of the cool parts about our show is that a lot of the stuff that you see on screen, like for the first episode, we never once used a stunt double for any of us. I know that I didn't use a stunt double.
I almost popped a vessel in my eye. I had to do so much screaming.
Yeah.
That's my power, is screaming. I have to go.
But like for the last 2 months, I've been in stunt training. So a lot of the stuff that one of the first things I told Matt, our showrunner, is that I want to be able to do as much as I can. And I've been in stunt training the last 2 months, just trying to.
I've been in couch training the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Earlier you said grade 10. Where are you from again?
Canada. Oh, it's you guys call it 10th grade.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. I had a lot of Canadian friends.
I'm Canadian too. I'm half Canadian.
Nice.
My dad's from Canada.
Nice. Where about?
Ontario.
Okay.
Are you from Canada?
No, I went to school in Michigan.
Very cool. Awesome.
Do you guys know the differences between your television characters and the characters in the comics?
We are
don't
a
have
family.
comic characters.
But there's a brother and sister.
We are a family of secrets,
Okay.
and we cannot reveal anything.
Okay.
Um,
So I know one element was the brother and sister had to touch in order for powers to be activated.
we can't say
What?
anything.
Okay.
We cannot say anything. Sorry.
Wait, what's she talking about? I don't know.
No, we are a family of secrets, and as the series continues, our characters will develop. And if you are a fan of the comics, the Struckers do exist. I'm not going to say that they don't. If we have any association with them, maybe not. You just have to watch the series to find out. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
That's it for today. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.